Hello, welcome to the Fairy Frequency channel. This series is called The Tarot Trumps, Tarot Art, and Tarot Knowledge. Actually, I think it's Tarot Knowledge and Art. Sorry. So the Tarot Trumps, Tarot Knowledge, and Art. So thank you all for being here. If it's your first time here, remember to hit the like button for us and the big red button and also the little bell so that you get all of our channel notifications. We're always glad you're here and appreciate all of your unique energy. So if you've missed any of the previous episodes of this amazing series, you can find them in our original playlist titled The Tarot Trumps, Tarot Knowledge and Art. So I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to say hi while I drag up the chat. It looks like it's just Steve Believe Guitars. I need to welcome. And Hans Beamler, welcome. Good to see you here. Aw, thank you for staying a while. Always appreciate it. I just got a fresh cup of tea. So good. So I wanted to just take a minute to talk about some of the stuff that's going on the channel, which, a lot of you guys know that are keeping up. There's always going to be nature videos. We'll pop those in all the time because we love nature and what we see out there is so beautiful. It's snowing today, so it's really, really chilly out there. We had icy rain last night and thunder. It was crazy. Kind of kept me up a bit, but it was nice. ASMR, nature, that kind of stuff. So this is one of the series that we're working on, and then also we are working on our ASMR series, The Call of the Wild, ASMR Whispering Bedtime Story. So there's a new episode of that up too, which you might notice I had to recreate the thumbnail. I did lose my old phone, so I am on my new phone, and when I lost the old phone, there was a lot of work that was lost, saved work that was on that phone that I lost, so had to recreate that thumbnail. So some of you might notice that as you go along. It's kind of funny. Another thing that I'm working on that I really want to encourage you guys to check out. I know some of the chapters are very long, but if you can suffer through it or put it on a back playlist and watch half of it at a time, I'm also working on exploring the world of lucid dreaming. This is a really intense book, and it's teaching me a lot. A lot of this stuff I already know, but there's some techniques in here that are just outstanding. One of which is to ask yourself, am I dreaming? So all of us take a moment to ask, am I dreaming throughout the day today? And that'll help you so that you can be ready when you're dreaming to be able to ask yourself, when you're dreaming, am I dreaming? And as soon as you know that you are dreaming, then you can take control of those dreams, which is absolutely a fascinating premise that we're missing out on all of that dream time we could be utilizing to help us out in our daily life, which is really intense. So if you haven't checked out that, you can check that out in the original playlist titled Exploring the World of Lucid Dreaming. Another thing I want to take a moment to mention is our community tab, which we've been excited about for quite a while, but yet we still have not seen a whole lot of interaction over there. So we want to remind you guys there's a community tab. We love to see you on the community tab. We always respond to your comments. There'll be updates and video shares over there for you to stay caught up on what's going on here on the Fairy Frequency channel. Some of you may have noticed we haven't been doing our readings during the week. We've been kind of throwing that schedule around, trying to figure out what people want to see more of. And we noticed that we did get a lot of feedback on night readings. People seem to think that night readings are better for them as far as their timing goes. So We may try to do some more of those. It's a little bit harder on Tam. The babies are a little bit wound up right before bed, so sometimes my nieces are rowdy and hyper during those hours. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll just play it by ear is what we've kind of decided. So we don't have a schedule right now as far as when we're going to do readings. You just never know. We might just pop on, which we want to encourage you to make sure that your bells are constantly rung on the channel, because they tend to go off all by themselves. Really bad thing that happens. They are fixing some of the glitches. So we wrote them not too long ago about the likes on the live stream. Like when you're live streaming, you couldn't even see if people had liked it. Like right now I can see there's 3 likes, but before it was registering 0 no matter what anybody put. So thank you for those 3 likes. I think one of those was mine. Oh, welcome, Earth Angel. Thank you for coming in, darling. Good to see you there, here, enjoying with us, darling. Beautiful. Okay, so if you guys want to share the stream, smash the like, all that good stuff. And let's see. Do you have any questions before I get started with the tarot knowledge? Once I get into this tarot knowledge, I won't be speaking with the chat anymore, just for the moment. Anyways, I might check in between books. But I highly encourage you guys to welcome each other. That's important too. I want to get that out before we reach that 10-minute mark. So it's very important that we be more inclusive and accepting of each other. I know this is hard. We're in a tough world where some people are just not very trustworthy out there, and it's hard to trust people. But we got to trust everyone right now. Anyone who comes in here is a good person. There's a lot of new people coming in, a lot of new faces. So we want you to welcome each other, and we want to extend this out as inclusive and acceptance across YouTube. So it's almost like a call for action. If you guys would see each other in another chat, that you would welcome each other too. So when you get to someone's chat, for example, it's like their house. Like you're in my house right now. You really are. This is my table. You're in my living room, and we're hanging out in my house. So the first thing you want to do is always greet your host. Hello, Rupali Kana. How are you? And did I miss someone? No, I think I got it. Okay, so it's important that you welcome each other and after you've greeted your host. So the first thing you want to do, like for example, here you are on our channel, so you want to say hi, fairy frequency, when you first get here. And you guys all do that. It's really good that you do that when you come in. That's what you always want to do in anybody's stream. If it's not my stream, say it's Rupali's stream or Hans's stream or Steve's stream or Earth Angel's stream. When you go to their house, you say hi to them first. And if you recognize people in there, you should say hi to them too and welcome each other. And sometimes we get lost in the hubbub because some of these channels are much, much bigger than us and they're very busy. So if that happens, sometimes the host doesn't notice that you came in. And if you are welcoming each other, that gives the host another chance to notice that that person came in, and therefore gives them a chance to welcome them properly too, if that makes any sense. Okay. I'm good. So good. Really good. I'm cold. It's snowing outside, but other than that, I'm fantastic. Okay, so we are at almost the 9-minute mark. So I think I'm going to get started with the knowledge, you guys. I hope that you're all having a wonderful day. And we'll get started with the big book first. Now, this book, I do not have the cards to, but it is one of my main go-to books for tarot knowledge. So this is the Tarot Handbook, Practical Applications of Ancient Visual Symbols. And this is written by the author Angelise Arian. And so we're going to talk about the Empress now. Because I don't have the cards, I'm going to go ahead and show you what she looks like in this book, because it describes some of the art as we go along. So let's just give you a moment to look at that. Okay. So it starts out with a quote. It says, "Love is will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. That's by Scott Peck, The Road Less Traveled. Number 3, the Empress. The Empress is the principle of love with wisdom. She is a symbol of humankind's ability to extend love and to receive love. The Greeks referred to this symbol as Demeter, the Earth Mother. Mythically, this archetype is also seen as Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and creative power. In Jungian psychology, she is the anima, the feminine nature. Behind the Empress, the moon shines through the veils that fall from her crown. The moon is the Western symbol for feminine, magnetic nature. She is the goddess principle, or what the Orientals would refer to as the power of yin energy. The Empress holds the blue lotus blossom of wisdom as a reminder that when we approach life from an attitude of love, combined with wisdom, we will resist the need to overgive or push to make things happen emotionally, nor will we protect or hold ourselves back emotionally. The Empress represents the trusting, balanced heart rather than the controlling, protective heart. She gives in equal proportion to her capacity to receive and is as comfortable in receiving love as she is in extending love. In her right hand, she holds the lotus blossom with its 4 points, which indicate her capacity to give mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually as appropriate. And she holds her left arm in a curved position as a symbol of her willingness to receive that which is extended toward her in a loving and wise way. The Empress illustrates the healing power of love that is nurturing, comforting, and supportive. She reminds us that love with wisdom is the capacity to nurture and support ourselves in equal proportion to how we nurture and support others. The principle of love with wisdom, the Earth Mother. The large crystalline bubbles touching each other on this card represent the unity of mind and heart. This is the only symbol in the deck which shows heart and mind having equal balance and proportion. Another way that the Empress symbolizes the unity and strength of heart and mind integration is in color of her burgundy robe, the depth of emotional expression, combined with all birds which represent the mental realms of consciousness. Cross-culturally, birds are seen as spiritual messengers in the majority of myths. Birds are creatures of the air, and in alchemy, birds and air are associated with the mind, or the mental realms of consciousness. Birds represent spiritual messages that have been cognized or brought into conscious awareness. The Empress faces the dove or kiwi bird. Both are prophetic birds or birds that remind us that wisdom is within and reminds us, therefore, to listen to our inner guidance. She brings with her the precious memories of the past, the small sparrow or bluebird that sits to the back of her head, her commitment to change and to become even more of who she is, represented by the swan with her 4 baby swans. The swan is a Western symbol for transformation. From the ugly duckling to the beautiful swan, it is a metaphor for transforming our own undeveloped parts, the 4 baby swans, into awakened and expressed parts of who we are. The double phoenix on the Empress shield is the eastern bird that, like the western swan, is associated with change and transformation. The mythical double phoenix facing each other reminds us that we are simultaneously changing internally as well as externally. Universally, every winged creature is symbolic of spiritualization. The Empress reminds us through all the birds on this symbol that love with wisdom is a way in which we can practice as well as listen to our own divine natures within. Bumblebees are found on the robes of the Empress, Emperor and Art Temperance symbols. They represent ways of seeing or varied forms of perception. According to the Greek Delphic tradition, the second of the temples built in Delphi was erected by bees to assist the oracular vision of the Delphic oracles. Sirlet, 1962. The globe in the Empress's crown represents the ability to explore internal and external worlds and equal agility and personal confidence. The fleur-de-lis, the three-petaled flower located on the bottom of the Empress symbol, is also found at the bottom of the Emperor's shield. In the West, the fleur-de-lis is associated with royalty and leadership. In Tibet and some Eastern cultures, this same symbol is often referred to as the three-pronged flame, representing the union of mind, heart, and spirit. The crescent moons interfacing with the earth on the Empress symbol illustrate the magnetic pull of the feminine nature and its necessity to offer love with wisdom. Just as the earth is pulled towards the moon magnetically, so are we pulled to people and situations that offer love and wisdom. The Empress as a lifetime symbol. For those individuals whose birthday adds up to the number 3, the Empress represents their lifetime spiritual symbol. If one is born with the number 3, one is like the Empress in one's capacity to love, nurture, comfort, support, and heal others. It is through one's own mother that one defines who one would be and who one would not be. For both men and women, this archetype reveals their deep love of nature. This archetype reveals their power to receive and to give love and wisdom. For a man, the Empress is his golden lady within, or what in Jungian psychology is referred to as a man's anima. With the Empress as their spiritual essence, both genders have an extraordinary capacity to heal, comfort, and nurture others. With this gift, they would do well in any of the professions concerned with nurturing others, like the medical profession or the healing arts, animal husbandry, farming, and veterinarian work, architecture, design, landscaping, or any of the arts that contribute to beautification, like being a fashion designer, a gardener, an artist, or a superb chef. Their greatest challenge is to nurture, comfort, and support themselves in equal proportion to how they support and nurture others. They have an enormous capacity to model to others the beauty of what it is like to have a balanced, wise, and trusting emotional nature. Because love with wisdom is their greatest gift, they may need to monitor a tendency to overgive or push to make things happen that are emotionally important to them, or because they feel so deeply they may protect themselves or hold back emotionally for fear of being hurt. These tendencies may surface in times of stress or may announce that they are not nurturing themselves in equal proportions to how they are nurturing others. The Empress as a growth symbol. During Empress years, individuals experience a need to clarify what is emotionally important and what is not. There will be people in their life during this year who will show them what is emotionally important to them and what is not. This is one of the best years to do the following. Number 1, break patterns of overgiving or overprotecting oneself emotionally. Number 2, resolve motherhood issues or heal issues surrounding one's own mother or maternal figures in one's life. Number 3, excel in professions and in leadership positions where one can model the power of the mind and heart working in tandem. And number 4, bring more beauty, harmony, nature, and receptivity into one's life. When the Empress begins a growth cycle, this begins a 9-year cycle that is one's creative Venus cycle, or the path of the heart. It is 9 years ruled by Venus, the Empress or Earth Mother archetype. This is the best cycle during which to follow whatever has one's passion and heart. Shoulds of any kind will not work in this cycle. It is a cycle where the heart is saying, "It is my turn." The Empress cycle is a time where some kind of creativity becomes a passion. It also is a time where one connects with deep emotional relationships and is the best time to heal relationships with important women in one's life. The Empress as a visual affirmation and meditative symbol. The Empress is an excellent symbol to use as a visual affirmation to enhance emotional balance, wisdom, and trust. For all women in motherhood roles or for others who are in positions of nurturing and comforting others, this is an important symbol to use as a visual reminder of giving and receiving love in balanced and appropriate ways. Welcome, Marge Richard, and welcome, Mr. Filtered World. And welcome, Sir Evans. Thank you for coming, my dears. Sample affirmations to use while looking at the Empress. So I'll give you just a moment to gather a pen and a paper. I'll pause and take a drink of tea while you go grab that. And be ready. I will say these 3 times for you to write down. Number 1, I give wisely and I receive wisely. I give wisely and I receive wisely. I give wisely and I receive wisely. Number 2, I enjoy leadership positions where I can model ideas and feelings that are equally honored and respected. I enjoy leadership positions where I can model ideas and feelings that are equally honored and respected. I enjoy leadership positions where I can model ideas and feelings that are equally honored and respected. Number 3, I value the healing power of beauty, harmony, and love. I value the healing power of beauty, harmony, and love. I value the healing power of beauty, harmony, and love. And number 4, I realize that the capacity to receive is equally as powerful as the capacity to give. I realize that the capacity to receive is equally as powerful as the capacity to give. I realize that the capacity to receive is equally as powerful as the capacity to give. Welcome, Dr. Asma Vikar. Good to see you here. Thank you for coming. The Empress as an outer mirror. Whenever one is drawn to the Empress symbol or pulls her from the deck, she represents one's capacity to extend and receive love. She reminds one that one's emotional nature is currently in balance and that one is bringing into balance issues surrounding important women in one's life. One's mother, maternal figures, female authority figures, colleagues, friends, or deep emotional relationships. Regardless what form one's outer mirrors take, this symbol represents the power of one's owning one's own maternal and loving nature within. Other symbols that are aspects of the Empress. The Empress is the internal motivation, energy for expressing love in the world. The universe, as the number 21, adds up to 3, and for breaking destructive patterns which bind and hold back our self-love and expression of love toward others, which is the Hangman, as the number 12, which also adds up to the number 3. The major challenge towards expressing love is sorrow held in the mind, which is the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords is the tendency of the mind to rework old wounds or sorrows tied with the past or with unhappy, triangular relationships one has experienced in the past. The 3 in the decks are the Empress's tool. Everyone experiences sorrow in his or her lifetime. It is by using the Empress's tool that we are given ways in which to overcome past sorrows or ways of preventing unexpected sorrows in our lives. For example, if we are clear on our priorities, which is the 3 of Discs or Pentacles, we will be able to communicate the abundance of feelings that we have, the 3 of Cups, from a place of honesty and integrity, the 3 of Wands. The experience of sorrow is often the result of having abandoned ourselves or from not communicating our feelings accurately, or from being unclear about where and with whom our priorities and commitments lie. Once we break the patterns that bind us, which is the Hangman, we are able to contribute to our community and to the world, the universe, from a place of love with wisdom, the Empress. Note, see the Empress constellation in section 6. Okay, so the gifts and challenges for a person whose lifetime personality symbol is the Empress. The gifts are these: the 3 of Discs, which is the works and priorities; the 3 of Cups for abundance of feelings; the 3 of Wands for virtue and integrity; the Hangman for breaking limiting patterns; the universe, expression of love in the world, the Empress, love with wisdom. The challenge is the Three of Swords to fight the sorrow. And that is what the Tarot Handbook has to say about the Empress. So let's see, how far are we in? 25 minutes. Okay, move a little faster. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is the Renaissance Tarot, which is here. The Renaissance Tarot is written by Jane Lyle and illustrated by Helen Jones. This is my mid-range deck. Father Frequency gave this to me, and it actually took me quite a while to start getting into it, but the meanings are very positive. And so here the Empress is described with the ruling planet of Venus, and her keywords are creativity, fertility, and harvest. Now, if she was flipped over on the reverse, her keywords would be lack and repressed energy. So we're going to talk about her upright first, and here we're going to see vines. You can see these vines that are wrapping around. These vines will symbolize the fertility of the tree of life. And then also you see grapes on the vines here. They have links with Dionysus, god of the vine, and with Demeter's Eleusinian mysteries. And then we have Venus. She's the Venus, which is associated in astrology with love, relationships, artistic taste, and beauty. And then we also see down here the horns of plenty, which are powerful symbols of fruitfulness, endless supply of bountiful creativity. And then a sheaf of wheat is an ancient symbol of abundance and fertility. So the symbolism of the card. The Empress, like all divine mythic queens, is crowned with stars. Let's see. This is a particular attribute of Venus, Aphrodite, goddess of love and relationships, who has deep connections with this card. She is shown rising from a sheaf of wheat or corn, which is the ancient symbol of abundance and fertility. In ancient Greece, the sheaf of grain was the central symbol of the mysteries of Eleusis, where the great earth mother, Demeter, was celebrated. All over the world, grain and bread have symbolized life, provision for the future, and the fruits of agriculture labors. Venus Aphrodite was originally a goddess of plants and cultivated places. Here, she represents the creative fertility and sense of renewal, which are the essence of this beautiful image. Grain and vines with bunches of ripe grapes are anciently linked to many cultures. The vine is sometimes symbolic of the tree of life and its fertility associated with passion and abundance. These are all important attributes of the Empress. Grapes and the wine we make from them are linked to Dionysus, god of the vine, and also to Demeter's mysteries, where the infant Dionysus appeared. Bread and wine together mean hospitality, generosity, and sharing life's good things with loved ones. Here the vines spring up from two horns of plenty, or cornucopias, a symbol of both male and female, being both phallic and receptive. Cornucopias are powerful symbols of fruitfulness, endless supply, and bountiful creativity. They were associated with Demeter and also with Fortuna, where they poured out the blessings of the benign fate upon the fortunate. This feeling of expansion and receiving life's most vibrant gifts is central to the Empress in interpretation. The Empress cradles the astrological glyph for the planet Venus in her hand right there. Venus rules this card. In astrology, it is associated with love and relationships, artistic taste and personal style, beauty and adornment, money, balance, and partnerships. The fertile bride. The Empress is placed beside her virginal maiden sister, the High Priestess. In some decks, she is called Juno, after the Roman wife of the god Jupiter, patroness of marriage and families, whose sacred mother was June, a traditional time for weddings. In decks created around the time of the French Revolution, she is called the Grandmother. An ancient goddess title. The card of the Empress is usually interpreted to mean fertility, pregnancy, and sometimes marriage. The Empress is number 3. The number is traditionally associated with goddesses because it represents creativity, springing from the duality signified by 2. It is also symbolic of the 3 kingdoms which belong to the goddess of old, Queen of Heaven, of the earth and its creatures, and of the shadowy underworld. The archetypal goddess generally has 3 main aspects: maiden, bride, mother, and crone. These deities were given different names, but are all aspects of the same powerful figure who could create and destroy life on earth. In Greek mythology, to give one example, Demeter is the mother goddess who has dominion over the earth's fertility. Her daughter Kor represents her maiden aspect, while Persephone, in her dark death goddess name, Demeter's temple at Eleusis was the scene of a flourishing pagan mystery religion for 2,000 years, officially eradicated in the 4th or 5th century AD. There is evidence that Greek peasants were still offering tributes to Demeter during the 19th century. The Eleusinian mysteries offered devotees initiation in the promise of resurrection after death. The ceremonies were carried out in darkness. Then the initiate was led blinking into daylight. This mirrored the cycle of the European seasons, when winter creates a dark, lifeless landscape and summer seems a distant dream. Then spring arrives with all its miraculous fecundity and clothes the earth. It is hardly surprising that such a force was believed to be magical, mysterious, and feminine. Indeed, the earliest fertility goddesses were parthenogenic, that is, they conceived their offspring unaided. Later goddesses acquired consorts whose lifespan was often short and sweet. They were sacrificed just as crops are harvested on an annual basis. By the Renaissance, Christianity had suppressed much of the old ritual and religion. However, it merely transformed itself, flowing underground and reappearing in Gnostic heresies, alchemy, magic, mystical philosophies, fairy tales, and legends. Glorious images of the once great goddess appeared in art. Botticelli's The Birth of Venus and Primavera remain world famous Renaissance paintings celebrating feminine deities. And within the Orthodox Church, the Virgin Mary assimilated many of the titles, such as Queen of Heaven, once accorded to Egyptian Isis, Sumerian Ishtar, and a host of others. Crowned with stars like Venus, Aphrodite, the Virgin Mary represented the longed for feminine principle, albeit in sanitized form. The tarot's empresses the power and sensuality of the ancient goddesses, a message that is underlined by her pairing with the star, a symbol of the goddess revealed. So, in an upright meaning, she would say, fertility and abundance are the keynotes of the sensual card. I'm going to tilt that a little bit and see if that helps. No? Alright, well, I guess we're stuck with the light shining on it. Okay, so upright meaning. Fertility and abundance. Oh, wait a minute. Let me welcome Instituto Gemologico Genovese. Welcome. How are you? And welcome, Catherine K&S, Variety Shop. Good to see you. Let's see if I missed anybody. Thank you all for coming. Very much appreciate you. Okay, so the upright meaning of the Empress. Fertility and abundance are the keynotes of this sensual card. It evokes the warmth of summer and the scent of fruits and flowers. Because the Empress is the embodiment of life itself, when such a vibrant image materializes in a reading, it is especially important to examine the context in which it appears. For in the real world, the Empress represents the many faces of creativity and fertility. The simplest interpretation of the Empress is marriage and motherhood. As pagan bride and earth mother, the Empress signifies loving union and pregnancy. Naturally, these traditional meanings cannot apply to everyone, nor to every reading in which this card appears. Fertility of the mind and spirit are therefore important meanings to consider too. Brainchild is a term we often use when describing an inspiration or compelling idea. A creative project, such as a painting, a book, a craft work, or a poem, is a brainchild, as is a business venture, an invention, or a sudden desire to bake a homemade loaf of bread. The impulse to create something life enhancing is signified by this card, and such inner vitality may express itself in numerous ways. When representing a person, the Empress is sensual, passionate woman. She may be a lover, a muse, or inspirational and beloved friend. She is the outer image of your own creativity, your sensuality, and abundant vitality. When denoting a love affair, the Empress represents an intense, tender, and tactile relationship, a grand passion, a great love. Now, if the Empress was reversed, then her meaning would be this. As the Great Mother goddess of mythology were said to create winter when they descended to the underworld each year, so the reversed Empress signifies a period of lack, sterility, and spiritual stagnation in someone's life. This position suggests physical infertility, impotence, and other sexual difficulties within a relationship, where other cards affirm the Empress reverse can denote destructive promiscuity, unwanted babies, and abusive sexual relationships, where power ploys have replaced love and feelings of spontaneity. On other levels, when this card is reversed, it suggests creative blocks, loss of energy, and a lack of interest in the present moment. Discomfort in the material world through actual poverty or through simple problems such as a leaking roof or troublesome neighbors can also be denoted. Companion cards will clarify the context, and some small but luxurious pleasure may help to begin the healing process. Welcome, Robert, in the moment. Thank you for coming. Okay, so that is what the Empress from the Renaissance Tarot tells us. Okay, so the next one I will read to you is from the Instant Tarot, which is my oldest deck. And this is written by Monty Farber and illustrated by the award-winning Amy Zerner. So these are short meanings, but straight to the point. Your keyword here is creativity for the Empress's meaning. So she says, you need to give birth to something that has never been. To do so, you need to tap your creative potential. Be as gentle to yourself and your new creation as you would be to an infant, and enjoy the riches of nature and the natural world. So, a visualization exercise to help you with this creativity. It would be good for you to have the blessings of a nurturing, unconditionally loving maternal figure. Visualize her giving you a life of love, peace, security, beauty, and creativity, and allow yourself to feel this envelop you. Beautiful. So, that is the meaning from the Instant Tarot reader. And then my newest deck, although still very powerful and through many, many readings, is the Fairy Tarot. And here the Fairy Tarot tells you already, right on the front of the card, that the Empress wants you to know that it's time to take action. The power of your creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. Further meaning in the book says, the Empress, the planning phase of your endeavor is now over. Congratulations. You've done excellent work sorting out what you are trying to accomplish and what you need in order to be a success. Now it's time for you to get busy. No more contemplating the perfect strategy. If there's a detail that seems to be missing from your plans, it will reveal itself as you move forward. So fix your eyes on the horizon and get going. Creative endeavors are especially favored right now. This can include the desire to have children or taking up a new project that you consider to be your baby. Whenever possible, try to add an artistic flair to each step along the way and infuse your tasks, great and small, with the joy and the knowledge that nothing can hold you back. Our Empress here stands in a chapel courtyard. Let's see. Symbolic of the source of inspiration. The infant here is wearing a hat inside a snow pea shell, demonstrating to the Empress the importance of creating something new. This may be the birth of a child or the beginning of an exciting new endeavor. Additional meanings of this card are hard work that pays off, inventiveness, successful endeavors, a love of luxurious things, getting a lot done, nurturing others or yourselves, mother figure, and pregnancy and birth. And that is the Empress card from the Fairy Tarot by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, illustrated by the wonderful Howard David Johnson. All right. Let me see where we are. 40 minutes. Okay, that was a lot of knowledge. Sorry, guys. I did take an extra 10 minutes at the beginning, though, to tell you what's going on the channel. So those are our cards. Now we'll get started with the art. All right, what'd I do? There it is. Okay, so hopefully we can see this good enough. I'll try to adjust it for you if I need to. Hi, Tam. Welcome, beautiful sister. Wow, 11 likes, guys. Thank you so much for that. All right, Tam, you made it just in time for the art, too. I was trying to call you this morning, but couldn't get through. Okay, so my Empress. Let's see. Our Empress is all about nurturing and creativity. So, let's see. Don't forget to talk sometimes. Sorry, guys. How you guys doing? Can you see all right? Sort of all right? I'll make it darker as we go. I'll try anyways. I like to keep it kind of light just in case I have to erase, which I do a lot of erasing. So... Welcome, Backyard Gardening. A 10-minute ad. Wow. I guess that's good news. Good news for monetization, anyway. Thank you for watching a 10-minute ad. Oh, sometimes I get way too caught up in the details. Oops, sorry. Kids are off school today too. That's why I'm not doing any ASMR videos today. I know that they are gaming and yelling about this and that every once in a while. Already. That was quick. Usually I try to only do these for like an hour, but this one is taking me a little longer. I don't like it. Not happy with my perspective, so. How are you guys doing? Everybody hanging in there? I know we've gone over an hour now. I'm sorry. I don't know. Get down. No. Get down. Thank you. Well, I could stick around and hash out the details all day, but we've been on for over an hour, so you kind of get the idea of what I'm going for with my Empress here. So, the gift of creativity and nurturing for the Empress. Very beautiful. All right. right, you guys. I think I'm going to let you go for the day. So remember, if you've missed any of the previous chapters of this wonderful series, you can find them in our original playlist titled The Tarot Trumps, Tarot Knowledge, and Art. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to come back and leave us a comment and share with your friends.